What is up, everybody? Hope you're having an amazing day today. I know it's a very rainy day, so I hope you're staying dry. Hope you're staying warm and safe. Wanted to do a quick video for you guys today. As the title suggests, I want you guys to be mean to your kids, right? Not really. Let's dive into it. And what is Chris Colin talking about today? I want you to be mean to your kids, okay? When I talk about different parenting styles, sometimes I like to use a grocery store as a frame of reference because when I was growing up, often, as a maybe a more a person with more naivete, I didn't really coach kids growing up, and I didn't obviously have a kid as a younger person. So when I'd go to the grocery store, I would see all of these different parents. Trying to curb or influence their child's behavior in many different ways. And there's a lot of different strategies and a lot of different types of parents out there. And I want to talk about the different types of parenting that you might see in your hypothetical grocery store, and how we can really, as parents and coaches, influence our children to do their very best. So the first type of parent, and these are in no particular order, but there are definitely some parenting styles that are better than others. The first one's the negotiator, right? So when you're walking down the cheese aisle, the kid had maybe pulled something off the aisle that they weren't supposed to, and the parent, is you normally a bit defeated at this point. A parent who's a negotiator has lost their power base. They've lost their child's respect. The child probably acts out and doesn't have great discipline. But they can. The child can have great discipline, but they've learned the power of negotiating. They think in this parent kid relationship, they have some kind of power, which they shouldn't, right? A parent holds the power in the parent child relationship. They choose what the kid eats, where they go to school, where they're going to live. All of the big decisions in a child's life between the ages of 0 and at least 13 years old largely happens on the parent making the choice, not the child, right? As a kid growing up, what real power do you have? You choose what you eat at school for lunch, and that's about it. Who you be friends with, and who you spend time around. But in this dynamic, something's shifted. The parent has given up a portion of their power base, and to get that kid to listen, to mind, to have the type of behavior the parent wants, they've started negotiating. If you clean your room, I'll give you ice cream. If you put that back on the shelf, we can get a piece of candy on the way out. Can you please stop crying? I'll give you extra game time when we're at home. The problem with negotiating is that it's going to set very poor habits, and it's going to let the child believe that they can have everything their way for virtually nothing. For doing the bare minimum and acting how they're supposed to act, they're going to get everything that they want in life, and that's simply not true. So the negotiator is one parenting style, and it's not a great one. The next one is the calloused. The calloused is also kind of that family is just ignoring it, right? So the kid's screaming in the bucket seat of the cart, the top of their lungs crying, and you see the parent, looks like they got done with a 72-hour shift. They're defeated. They're just pushing the cart through the aisle, throwing stuff in the buggy, not really addressing the behavior at all. And it's probably because they think that they can't change it, or they simply think they don't have enough energy to change it. And they just want to get through the grocery store as quickly as possible and just get the kid home, or hopefully the kid's not crying, and they're probably embarrassed, and they just want to get through everything without causing too much destruction and too much attention. This parent is a parent who is probably very unorganized, who just has given up, right? And maybe not given up, period, but given up in that encounter. And the thing about calloused parents, or parents who've given up, and parents who just kind of ignore certain types of behavior, is the more often you give up those battles, and the more often that you kind of allow the student to act that way, it's going to become a common occurrence. And I see this a lot lately with parents and electronic devices. 5 minutes into a social encounter, and the kid's just sticking out the hand, asking for the phone or their phone a lot. It's crazy how many kids have phones now. It's insane. Or Game Boy or whatever, and the parent just hands that over, and it's crippling the child's focus, their ability to socially interact, their ability to be patient. And a lot of times that callous parent's just throwing them the phone, so they be quiet and they can get through the interaction. Third is the threatening parent. All right, and this might have been how you were raised growing up. This happens before you even get in the grocery store sometimes. And they'll say, Johnny, we're going to the grocery store. I need you on your best behavior. I don't want you to yell. I don't want you to cry. I don't want you to touch anything. If you touch anything in the grocery store without asking me first, I can guarantee you're getting grounded, you're getting spanked, you're getting whooped, something like that. You have the threatening parent. And this is a type that has been proven to be effective in the past, somewhat more effective than the negotiator and more effective than the callous. But like the negotiator, it's really only going to work when you're there. It's really, there's a negotiator, it's only going to work when they have something to offer. It's going to cause damage in the long term. Same thing with the threatener. The threatener, it's only going to work in the short term. While they're afraid of some kind of punishment, they're going to act the right way. But if you weren't there and if you forget to threaten them, then they're going to act however they want to act. And also, it's not doing anything for you guys' relationship. Being a very threatening parent isn't a very nice thing to be. And I would discourage you from using that option. There's also the nuclear parent. The nuclear parent is a parent who has no follow through, or they follow through, but way too much and way too late. They're the parent who their child is pushing the boundaries too much, and they say, don't do that. Don't do that. Johnny, don't do that. If you do that, you're going to get grounded. I say, don't do that. Don't do it. All right, I'm going to count down. 5, 4, 3, 2. And it's going to take 20 million times for the child to listen, because the child knows how far they can push their parent before the bomb explodes, right? And when the bomb explodes, it is not a good picture. That's when you're going to have the parent red in the face. Maybe there is a spanking coming or a very severe kind of punishment. The child is preconditioned because the parent's not following through sooner. They're giving the child too many chances. The child is pushing the boundaries too far, and then before you know it, explosion. And there's also the consistent parent. The consistent parent is one that sets rules and guidelines, and they follow through on them. And this is a great starter parenting style, and even a great intermediate parent style. This parenting style has rules, regulations. When a child crosses the line, there's some kind of punishment. And when the child does well, there's some kind of reward. A parent who loses the consistency of a consistent parent often turns into a nuclear parent. And this is what the video is about today, is if you're not a consistent parent, you need to be a consistent parent. And this is going to sometimes mean being mean. Okay? Here's an example. If you told your child not to leave the bike out in the yard where it's going to rust, and you said, if I warn you again, you're going to get grounded, and then you don't ground them, they're going to feel like, oh, I was supposed to get in trouble but didn't. That's a lack of consistency. Now I know in the future I can probably push that line and not get in trouble. A consistent parent is going to ground them. And your child may say, mom or dad, you were so mean to me, right? You were so mean to me. Now that's all coming together in the video. Your mom, dad, you were mean to me. You grounded me. Or it's not fair that I can't go over to my friend's house this weekend. Or it's not this, that, and the other. Or you gave me a spanking for this. Or you took away my phone and this, that, and the other. And sometimes your child's going to think that you're mean. And some parents are fine with that, and some parents aren't. And sometimes a parent becomes a nuclear parent or a callous parent or a negotiating parent because they're afraid of being the bad guy. They maybe had a poor relationship with their parents growing up, and they're so afraid to do any kind of punishment, to have any kind of consistency with their own child, that they step back from being that consistent parent and they fall into one of these other parenting styles. And they don't realize that by falling into those other parenting styles and not being consistent, they might not be called mean, and they might think that they're helping the relationship, but really long term, they're crippling the relationship. Because over time, all of those other parenting styles have huge flaws. They're going to affect their child's behavior. And sooner or later, that child's going to hit the teen years. And if you haven't set them up for success by then, it's really going to cripple them going in the future. So if you're not already doing this, you need to have rules and regulations in place. You need to have punishments in place, and you need to have rewards in place. And you might be saying, Coach Colton, this is the simplest thing ever. I do all of that stuff. Like, duh. But do you though? Right? You might think you do, right? But if there is a camera recording you, how many times do you have to warn them? and not to do things. And when you warn them, how often do they listen? How many warnings do you find yourself giving them? How often do you find yourself negotiating with them? How often do you find yourself ignoring bad behavior because you think it's going to be easier just to get through it and addressing the behavior right then and there? And any of those, and usually it's going to be a couple shades together maybe, make you feel, oh man, I am a little bit guilty of that. And that's good. That means you have some introspection and you're really, taking this serious and you're taking it to heart and you're thinking about it. All right. If you're out there thinking, no, none of those apply to me, I'm very consistent. All right. You probably have a blind spot somewhere. We need to shove our fences because no one's perfect. I'm not perfect. The child's not perfect. Parents aren't perfect. We all have to figure it out. And the last parenting style, the ultimate parenting style, this is what the advanced parenting style is the influencer. And I've done videos on the difference between authority and influence in the past. Many of the other parenting styles, in fact, all of them that we just spoke about, except for a little bit, and except for really the negotiator and the consistent parent, fall on the authority side, which means they're doing things because you told them to do them and you're the boss, which again is great. And it's how traditional parenting has been done for hundreds and hundreds of years. But the other style, the influencer style of parenting, is going to work for you rather than you working for it. And we're going to do another video separate on the influencer parenting style because it is so powerful. If you influence your child's behavior rather than dictating your child's behavior, not only are they going to act right when they know the carrot's on the stick and they know that they are going to get rewarded, they're also going to act right when they know there's going to be a punishment. They're also going to act right when you're not there. They're going to act right because they want to act right and they're going to want to do the right thing. And that is the most powerful thing that we could do as coaches, as instructors, as parents, to set them up to want to be goal-driven, to want to have perseverance, to want to be honest, to want to be respectful. If we could have that, it's no longer a chore, something we have to constantly keep up with and maintain. We can really just spot check every now and then and feel confident in our child's ability to make the right decisions even when we're not there. So if this makes sense, give me a hashtag #me in the comments. If you're struggling and you think, man, maybe I am a negotiator, maybe I am callous, maybe I am the threatener, maybe I am the nuclear option type of parent, try to shift towards that consistent parent. If you have questions about how to do this, reach out to me, leave a comment below, send a message on Spark. We're going to we want to transition from being a consistent parent to be a consistent and authoritative parent to be a consistent influencing parent. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. See you guys on the mats very soon. Thanks for listening as always. Bye, everybody.